Sibling love is something that is special in its own way. The love which we crave or the love which we give to each other as siblings plays a very crucial role in our day-to-day lives, or also it manifests in a way enticing manner than we can ever expect. Well, today we'll be going deep into the number of siblings whom I think are the most important characters and play a very pivotal role in many books which I have read. So without further delay, let's get started. Hello everyone, thanks so much for watching ATP, that is Among the Pages, where I talk about the books and the content written among their pages. Well, if you're for the first time in here, then this is Achut Murari. I'm a medico plus a poet and I talk about the books and personal development tips over this channel. So make sure you're liking and subscribing this channel so that you can find more bookish content in over here. So as you're diving into the 7 books which are having great sibling characters, and the first one among them must be undoubtedly From the God of Small Things, and the characters are Estefan and Rahel. Well, basically in this book, this is my most favorite book. I have talked about this book in almost all my videos, and basically the character called Estefan and Rahel are the twins, where they find out that at the end of the book that their mother is actually in love with a lower caste person and has actually eloped away from her husband after taking a divorce. So the lower caste person's name is Veluta, and the story revolves in and around Estefan and Rahel's mother and Veluta basically. But the strong bond which Rahel and Estefan basically share in this book is something which we cannot take our minds off from. Every scene where they come closer brings us the value of a joint family in this Indian culture. We come across various aspects. We come across their love, their little fights, their mutual understanding of the situation, the way they deal with the situation, and how they understand their life in their own way. So I guess Estefan and Rahel from the God of Small Things by Arundhati Roy has to be in the first position of the greatest sibling bonds ever shared. And the most painful aspects of this book comes when we know that Estefan is actually molested by a theater owner while they are watching a movie. So this pretty much disbalances my mind, stating that there are still things which we need to be showing greater concern to, and this book speaks all about that in a very subtle manner. So the God of Small Things has to be on this list. If the point has come about siblings, then how can I forget Ali and Hassan from the Kite Runner? This book has to be on this list, and no one can ever replace the inseparable connection of Ali and Hassan. However, you all are well aware of the whole story which revolves around Ali and Hassan, but practically speaking, Ali and Hassan are supposed to be step brothers only. They are not true brothers because they have the same father but 2 different mothers. So Baba is basically the father of both of them, and the whole story revolves when Ali fails to help Hassan when he's being molested by Asif, and the whole scenario changes when eventually the political changes happen in and around Afghanistan. There is political turmoil and there's whole scenario going on where Hassan has to be leaving this country, even Asif has to be leaving to US, and the whole story revolves and goes on in that manner. So this pretty much showcases how love and friendship actually kindles between 2 brothers who are unaware of the fact that they 2 actually are brothers. Every storyline and every plot line of this book has to be making us more and more vulnerable to the plot, and it makes me cry each time I try to even think of these characters. Well, basically both of them share a great relationship. They share a brighter bond between them, but all of that is shattered when they know about the fact that they 2 are no more than half brothers themselves. So that is why Baba is actually more partial towards Hassan than of Ali, and this completely shatters the plotline, and this is a turnover of the plotline. So I guess they 2 need to be on this list for sure. Practically, you might not think about this book over this list, but still somehow I guess these 2 characters are most important, and that is Nora and Joe from The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. I was super duperly interested into this story plotline. I was into this. I really need to congratulate Matt Haig for actually writing one such great book, which not only comes under the genre of fiction, but also is most importantly a great self-help book also. It gives you a wholesome idea about life, how you need to lead it, and how proficiently and efficiently can you reap all the fruits of life. And each minute is supposed to be lived, and how you should be away from your regrets. Basically, the major character of this book is Nora, and she's having a brother called Joe. Though the character called Joe has very less plot time given into this book, that he has very little amount of pages which are pertaining to him, but in each chapter he comes at least once into this book. While this plotline basically is where Nora feels she needs to be committing suicide because no one is actually caring about her and she's a burden into her own life. So then she comes across a fascinating library which is nothing but in her mind and which is a fantastical thing. That's why it is called fiction. And in this library she gets to choose a book. Each book is nothing but a new life which she can actually live without regrets. So each book is a potent chance for her to relive the life, and in that manner she picks many books, and throughout the story of this book you will be finding that how she's trying to live with the new life which is being provided to her. And if she's not liking that life, she can come back to the library and pick up any other book, find a new life and proceed with that. But the plot line which caught my attention was her immense relationship with Nora and Joe. Joe basically is a homosexual person, never mind. But in each of the life which Nora tries to relive, she always thinks about Joe firstly. She always gives Joe a better position in comparing to herself. She thinks that Joe needs to be more happier, he deserves a more happier life, and Nora somehow thinks that Joe is a better person than Nora herself. So I think these two siblings, though they get very less time sharing their opinions because there's hardly one complete chapter which is dedicated to only both of them. The fourth most lovable sibling bond one can ever share is none other than Ravan and Kumbhakaran from Ravan, the enemy of Aryavrata by Amish. Well, basically, I can actually consider Ram and Lakshman from the Sayan of Ikshvaku from Amish, from the Ramchandra series, but somehow Ram and Lakshman are the iconic brothers born from ancient epics itself. So they are just eminently there in this list. But something which caught my attention more, even if it is present in the epics, that Ravan and Kumbhakaran really share a great amount of time with each other. Well, basically most of the epic which we were taught as Ramayan pretty much reduces the amount of time which Ravan and Kumbhakaran has among them. But this whole book is about 3/4 of this book has a humongous text about the relationship Ravan and Kumbhakaran. They both are the adorable kids one can ever think of. Kumbhakaran always, you see, is there at supporting his brother. He always thinks that his brother is really great, and he always thinks that he needs to be supporting him in every time he needs his support. So I feel Kumbhakaran is like the ideal brother type who unquestionably is actually supporting his brother, despite the fact that one should be very careful at choosing the dharma. One should be very careful in choosing the right side actually. But this book persuades us that Kumbhakaran and Ravan are unaware of the fact that they are actually doing wrong by abducting Sitama. So I think somehow Ravan and Kumbhakaran need to be there on this list of greatest siblings ever which I have read from the books. And as we speak about Indian mythological books, I will proceed with the next book which is concerned with the Greek mythology, and that is by the Percy Jackson series by Rick Riordan. Well, basically in this book we have Percy and Tyson, whose sibling bond is supposed to be remembered forever. In this book, Tyson is a Cyclops who is a one-eye giant-sized guy who is supposed to be coming out from the Tartarus and whatnot. So he has this humongous amounts of body, he's super spendy and he's immune to fire. The first character introduction of Tyson actually comes when there's a situation. Percy was supposed to be playing a basketball and 3 goons come over there who are none other than the demons from the Tartarus who have come to attack Perseus. And in that process, Perseus basically is actually a friend to Tyson, but he's not aware of the fact that Tyson is actually a half brother of Perseus. So Tyson successfully saves Perseus at that point of time, and then he realizes that Percy and Tyson are half brothers and they share the common father, that is Poseidon, the god of oceans. I pretty much love every character. There are many sentimental scenes which will absolutely make you cry when there is situation about Tyson, because this Cyclops guy, despite having humongous amounts of body and rugged surface, is very soft at heart. He's such an innocent guy who doesn't know the bad enemies, who is unaware of the darker side of this world and still thinks that everyone is so good. I feel so pity about his situation. And I also am happy that he gets profound support from Perseus and Annabeth also, and that is why he is able to get a large amount of plot time in the Percy Jackson series, and he plays very pivotal roles at the Labyrinth and many parts of this book. So I think these two should be there on this list. Now, coming to the last 2 epic sibling bonds which you can never ever quit at all. Like, these are the golden standard sibling bonds you can ever find from the two gold, and those two books are nothing but one is Harry Potter series, and that is Fred and John Weasley, and the other is the C.S. Lewis's Narnia, the Chronicles of Narnia, and there are Edmund, Susan, Peter, Lucy, all the four. So in these two classical epics, out of the Harry Potter series, Fred and John Weasley are nothing no more than a stepbrothers of Ron Weasley, and they play a very crucial role in little parts of the Harry Potter series. Out of what I have found, they first come into appearance during the Chamber of Secrets book, and that is a situation where Fred and John Weasley are supposed to be grabbing a car from their mother, and they are trying to help Ron to free his friend, that is Harry, from the clutches of his step uncle. So I feel these two guys are pretty whimsical. They are add humor to the plot, but still they play quite a pivotal role in the Harry Potter series, and both of them are supposed to be twins. So both of them look almost the same. And coming to this classic, that is the Chronicles of Narnia, and the eldest one out of all of them is Peter, the second one is Susan, the third one is Edmund, and the fourth one is Lucy. While out of which Peter in the Chronicles of Narnia eventually becomes the king of Narnia by claiming the throne, and after he has successfully defeated the witch, and Edmund and Susan is becoming the second person who will be hiding the throne. The third one is Edmund, and the fourth one is Lucy. Edmund, we get to know about Edmund firstly in the first book itself, because that is the situation where the whole plotline turns, because Edmund immediately succumbs to this witch, and he actually tells the truth about Peter, Susan, and Lucy to the Ice Queen. So that makes the actual plotline. I hope everyone knows about the situation where the lamp post is, and how Edmund reaches the Narnia, and how he comes across the Ice Queen. And out of all these, my personal favorite character is obviously Lucy, because she is quite innocent, such an adorable little girl, but her senses of intelligence, her senses of maturity, and the thought process which she possesses is something which cannot be seen in any character of the Chronicles of Narnia. So these were the 7 sibling characters which I found pretty interesting in all the books which I have read till now. If at all you know some more, then don't forget to add them in the comment section so that I can know more about the sibling bonds today while we are celebrating the National Siblings Day of 2021. Till the next video, bye bye, and thank you for watching.